Build yourself. Immerse yourself in practical knowledge. Learn from the doers. And get doing with Sarala Entrepreneurship College.
When you talk about trying, because I think he did mention it too, why are you not afraid of failing? Because some people think the thought, but they don't want to try because they don't want to fail.
I know, right?
Right.
Nobody would want to try to fail.
So you're not trying to fail.
Yes,
you're giving it your all.
Everyone else that wants to do something, they try because they want to succeed. But most of the times you find that whenever we do business or whatever project that one is trying to do, you will find that they are trying, but failure in the way is inevitable. It will come, and it depends on how you take that failure. Most of the times for us, we take that as a stepping stone to another level. Yes, so failure is always there. We have, hills and also valleys, even as we do the businesses. And when you get into the valley, sometimes you get discouraged. You sometimes start thinking, how did I start this? Why did I start it? And so on. But then if you have a vision and you have a passion to do it, obviously you have to pick up your pieces and then run again.
Right.
Yes.
The other thing that I think I'm very interested in, you have a large team of people. How do you work with people? How do you make sure you make the dream happen as a team? What's important?
What is very important about a vision is sharing with clarity on what the vision is, what your mission is.
Right.
You give the people a direction where you're going. And also telling people, even when things are hard at that particular time, I'll give you an example, Veronica, of the COVID time. Yes, we were in the turmoil of the hardest time, I would say, in the business. It was so hard. But then a lot of companies, you saw, they closed. A lot of employees lost employment. Yes, they lost jobs. But in our case, what we did was we had to explain to our people the time that we're in and how hard things were.
Right.
And we also assured them to say, even beyond COVID, we still have a life. Those that really trust and also are in a vision, are supporting the vision. They have decided to be with us even up to this time. We're still with them.
Right.
Yeah.
So they are rising with you post the COVID.
Absolutely.
Right.
They're actually rising with us post-COVID time. Yeah, which we respect so much, and we don't take such people for granted. Yes, they're our employees, but then they are more like partners at the end of the day.
I love that.
Yeah, they are our partners because they have seen us grow and they are part and parcel of this empire that we are building. So they are also playing a very big role to this vision that we are growing as an institution.
Right.
Yeah, and then coming to how we operate with these big numbers.
Yes.
We have given them roles to play. So people have got roles that they are playing. There's the leadership roles, the departmental roles to play, and so on. And then we have created different systems. We actually involve them to create systems. Yes, so we put up our thoughts. They also bring up their thoughts. We put together and create a system. So when we create a system, for instance, for this institution, they will run it because they understand the system. So rare are times that they could jam on the way. Of course, they would consult from us, but because they understand the system, they run it very well.
Right.
Yeah.
Why is it important to involve them in the building of the system?
I think for easy running, because of course, business is a hands-on kind of projects mostly, but there are times when physically you and I are not there to do the actual work.
Right.
But if a person understands the system, it becomes very easy for you to run even when you're not there physically. So it's very important, therefore, to make people that you're working with or the employees to understand the system, because even when you're not there physically, the system will still run, the business will still continue. Yes, because I believe the business must go beyond one's life.
Right.
Vision must surpass our lives.
Right.
It must run even when we are not there.
Right.
Mrs. Siatwambo keeps mentioning systemize or systems. I thought maybe we should unpack what that looks like, because sometimes when we mention systems, one would assume that we're talking about ICT or digitized systems. They don't necessarily always have to be digitized, but you do need to have a form of system that runs the company even in your absence. So here it's talking about defining processes, explaining what daily activities need to be done and how they need to be done, so that somebody who comes in is able to know what is expected of them in the day-to-day operations. Defining roles, who does what in the business. Sometimes we know that the entrepreneur is the boss, is the owner of the business, but the rest of us then don't get to know who is accountable for what and is, responsible for what. So that needs to be defined as part of systemizing. Setting clear excellence standards, for example, so that people know what they're measuring themselves against, even when the owner of the business is not there. They should know what it is that is expected of them in terms of performance standards, even setting clear goals. And that's what sometimes make people not like working for entrepreneurs, is that goalposts are constantly changing, and it's usually out of emotion that the owner of the business will just be saying, I'm paying you for nothing. You are not doing anything for the business. What are the goals? What was set for us so we can know what we're supposed to do? So that is also part of, systemizing and explaining cultural expectations. There are values in the business. Who gets to define what those values are? There are written and unwritten norms. There are some formal and informal activities that go on in the business that make the business work. Define those for people so they can know how to share them freely and share even with those who are joining the business as new members of the business. And have transparent review sessions, and reward systems, so that it's not seen to be biased or, inconsistent, and people can know what they're working towards. We are all guilty of this as entrepreneurs, just defining what the system is and defining clearly what professionalism looks like in our business. And that way, people can also know, especially if you involve them, as Siatwambo was saying, involve them so they can know. They can own the system and they can run the system in your absence. I really, truly loved that. So that's what she's speaking about, to say have a system. I think she makes reference of the system in many instances throughout the session.
Now, this is a family business.
Yes,
We love the
Veronica.
idea of setting up family businesses. Some people actually don't like it because they believe, family conflict and comes to work and all of that nonsense. How do you make it work? How do you and your husband make it work where business is business and you're able to separate it from
Putting a distinct Okay, that is one of the questions that always come. Yes, because most of the times you find that people actually have a lot of conflicts between marriage and also the business.
Yes.
And most of them, they don't actually like working as couples or
Yes.
as family.
Right.
Yeah, but for me, the past 2 decades that I have lived with my husband, I think it has been an amazing journey where I have learned a lot. One of the things that I have come to understand is that most of the people don't separate business from family. Yes, so there must be a difference between work and also business. Yes, so home matters must be home matters. So it takes somebody that has some emotional intelligence to differentiate between relationship and business.
Right.
But otherwise, it works out very well if you understand yourself to say, I'm here for work, and anything to do with home must be off at this particular time. And I'll do the work and report to my husband because he's my boss.
Right.
He's the vision carrier. So when I am here, I am the co-director. I am a pillar to him, but I need to report to him at the end of the day on how the work was. I have a line of reporting. And then when I'm done with my work, I go home, I play a role of a wife.
Yes.
Yes. So everything that has to do with a wife, I have to do it to my level best.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So
and it's good
basically-
because then if you he knows what you're also going through this side, he can be more understanding even on the home
Absolutely.
front.
You're right.
At least that's my conviction about this
Yes.
type of setup.
Yeah. He highly understands even when you're tired. He knows, like right now,
Yeah.
we are bringing up a hotel, which will be housing about 70-80 rooms.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm more on the operational side where I have to check on the workers,
Yes.
is material in and all that. So by the time I'm knocking off, I'm tired.
Yeah. So you're
So-
project managing really.
Oh yes, yes, I am project managing. So by the time I'm knocking off, you find that I'll be tired, and it's something that he's understanding. For instance, getting a cup of tea, he'll get to the kitchen and make a
Get
cup
a
of tea
cup,
for himself
yes.
and understand to say, okay, my colleague is tired. But at the end of it, or it's an issue of differentiating or putting a distinct between work and home.
Right.
Yes, which most of the people fail to differentiate. You find that people, if they've quarreled at home, they'll bring all those
In the
quarrels
office.
in the office and even make other people that didn't even know about it know to say, oh, there's a difference here.
No, and then sometimes even be uncomfortable because these are the bosses and they're fighting about something from home.
And
you
you
don't
know,
know.
as a leader, when you bring something from home, or if you are aggrieved at home, you will not hide it here. It will show from the way you are working. And apart from that, you find that even the aspect of spirituality is also affected. And where there's a disturbance, business also is affected negatively.
Right.
So we try by all means to harmonize whatever it could be from home, and when we come here, purely it's work and work. Sure.
Hey fellow learners, what you caught a glimpse of are just snippets from our exclusive premium content library.
Now you have children who are growing in this whole entire environment, and you spoke about moving, ensuring the legacy carries on beyond you. What role do you want your children to play in this empire? When you bring them in, how do you do it? Why do you even bring them in?
Okay, yeah, that is one of the systems that we are putting up. Yes,
Why?
continuation of business is very important. That is the reason we would want this vision to continue even when we retire.
Right.
Yes, by our children, obviously. Yes. So we would want them to be engaged. We engage them actually. We have engaged them even at an early stage, as young as 5.
Right.
Yes.
This little millionaire is running around here.
The little millionaire is running there, and even just other businesses like at the reception. Most of the times you find when they are not in school, they would come with us. They're at the reception receiving clients and also doing some ushering. When there's a wedding, you find them there with the waitresses. They are serving food and all that. So what we are trying to do is to impart in them what we have been doing. Even when we are building, like the way we are putting up this hotel, we bring them on board and they see what happens. Yeah, they see what happens. How are they building? What materials are coming in? We try to also teach them on financial literacy, on how the expenses are going on and so on. So as they are growing, there are some that have the interest of business, but there's some, of course, that are off because they have their own ambitions in life. But at least we have tried our best to align them with the business and also the vision that we are.
Right.
we are
I was going to
following.
ask if you are forcing them or they like it, like where they are with this idea.
No, of course, some they have an interest. Yeah, some of them have an interest. But
How many
some-
children do you have?
We have 4 together, 2 boys and 2 girls.
Okay. Fantastic.
sure.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there are some that have an interest. Naturally, it just flows when they get to the businesses. But there are some that you have to push a little further for them to be
want
there
to be
because
part
it's
of it.
something that they want. Yes. So like there's one of our children who is so much into IT. He
Right.
needs so much into IT, these issues to do with businesses and all that. You pull him, he goes back and so on.
So
we
you have
try
to
our
find a
best.
way to support
A
that
way
as
to
well.
support that as well, or you give him something to do with the business
IT.
so that he can align it with what he likes.
Right.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah,
Do
Yeah.
they expect to be paid when they are volunteering their services here?
we have taught them that. Yes, we have taught them to say when you work, we don't give them money for free.
Yes.
That is one.
They earn it.
Yes, they earn it. So every time there's some work or every time they want something for themselves, we tell them to say, guys, there's no money for free. You have to work for it to get paid. Actually, they run businesses.
That's good.
So at our schools, they're the ones that are running the canteens for the pupils, and actually they pay themselves. They pay
They
themselves.
put themselves on a
salaries.
salary.
Oh yes, they pay
That's
themselves on a
impressive.
salary, and when they get paid, they go buy whatever they want to shop, and then they come back to give a report to mommy and dad to say, okay, mommy, this is what.
So
we
you are
have
the
got
board
this
of
month. We are the
directors.
board of
Right.
we are the board of directors. So they come report, this is what I have done with my money. I have tithed, I have done this, I have bought this, and this is my change. I want to have some sweets as well. Then we go like, okay, this is good.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, sure.
So you've weaved it into them that even outside of the business, just to have an understanding that in life, you earn your keep.
Absolutely.
Ready for more? Join our subscription today to access the entire collection anytime, anywhere. We upload weekly videos for our exclusive community of daring entrepreneurs.
know the
That's
phrase
how-
you used about being a people's person, or you and your husband being people's people.
Mm.
We have been burnt by trying to be people's people. We're not
Mm.
trying, we just are. Even after we have been disappointed and we
I
say
know.
we will never try so hard for
Mm.
somebody, the next thing you'll see, we are working on,
I know.
So how have you dealt with that over the years? And people really disappoint us. Some turned their backs where you literally did not believe at that hour. Somebody that you believed in, that you thought believed in the vision, the whatever, just turns their back. And you have to, with the love you have for them, deal with the pain of it, patch up, and try to make sense of it as you move forward. I'm sure you've
Well,
gone through a lot of that.
I know,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's people move on.
Right.
Yes. So one thing that we must
Ooh,
understand is
we
that
took time to acknowledge that.
I love that.
Forever.
Yes.
Mm.
People move on. And unfortunately they move on when you least expect.
Yes.
Yes.
And the wound hurts.
It does.
It's like it's so
It
painful.
does.
It hurts like
Yeah,
that.
every time you go memory lane, you think, oh, I wish I was with her. I wish I was with him. I wish I was with them, and so on.
Yes.
But at the end of the day,
Oh my God! Even this that we're doing, there are those that were wishing were here to be
I
part
know.
of it, but they left.
They left. Yes. So people move on, and a human being is dynamic, Veronica. You could be seated and making plans for 2023
Right.
without realizing that the people that you are making plans with actually are on their way next week. They're going somewhere else. And you have, as a business owner, it's an issue of sitting down again and now check around who pushes this vision with us again, who would again come up to this level where we were with this person that has left us. And you find that probably you have invested a lot in teaching that person, and that person reaches a certain stage where you now want that person to be part and parcel
where
of
you
you
can
guys
get the
to drive
returns
it.
of some of those investments.
Absolutely,
And you're like,
yes.
we're
So you
now
find-
fit, let's go.
And that person goes at a time that you want them the most.
How do you reason
Off
it
they
out for
go.
yourself?
Well, it's not an easy exercise to go through. It's a hard one, but with time you heal, and God provides other people that would carry on with you, and you move on. So those are some of the valleys of business journeys.
Right.
And some people get frustrated and they go like, I think this is unfair. I think this person, and probably they'll even create an enmity with that person.
Right.
But this world, it goes round, right? It is round and it goes round. You find that maybe in the near future that person will come in another way that you are going to meet
For
again.
me, it's
to
even
do
worse. I start
something.
thinking maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe there's something. So I'll spend months
is the
thinking
thought.
it was me.
I
Maybe,
know, maybe
what
I'm
did I
not
do?
paying her well. No,
Yeah.
maybe there's something bad that
Or maybe I
said. You
said
start
something,
checking
or maybe I
yourself.
did something. Yeah. So I spend months just
Oh yeah.
right.
Yeah, so those are some of the thoughts, negative thoughts that hit us as business owners, and you start checking on yourself more than you are checking on that person, because that
Right.
person has decided. So for those that are deciding to leave, they leave because there's something that they are looking at in future.
Right.
But for you, you're looking at the past.
Yes.
So that is where the difference is. That is where the difference is. So this is the reason why I think it's more painful on us that remain than those that are
That
leaving, because
go.
then they have left, they are going, and it's normal. So it's just important for us to understand and also know to say people move on.
Yes.
And when they move on, you sit down, re-strategize, replan, and start re-engaging
Others as well.
others that
and
have
have
the
no
ability.
hostility with the one who left.
No,
Don't miss out on the complete experience. Take the next step and subscribe now. Just go to www.sec.africa. Again, www.sec.africa. Subscribe now. Be part of our community.